All right, welcome back to the training. Today, we're tackling something huge, something that can be really tricky for any manager. What to do when an employee issue comes up. And listen, getting this stuff right, it's about so much more than just following the rules. It's about protecting your team, the company, and yeah, you too. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let me ask you something. You've got a great employee, a real star, but suddenly their performance just tanks. What's the first thing you want to do? I bet your gut tells you to jump in, right? Pull them aside, figure out what's going on, and fix it. And that's a good instinct, most of the time. But here's the thing. When it comes to formal discipline, that same instinct can get you and the company into some seriously hot water.
And that brings us to our first and honestly our most important warning. We're going to call this the danger of DIY discipline. It's that urge to handle it all yourself. And I'm here to tell you, it's a huge risk. This is the one part of your job where going it alone is absolutely positively not an option.
Okay, I need to be super clear about this. As a manager, you are strictly prohibited from kicking off any kind of formal disciplinary action. What does that mean? It means you don't issue written warnings, you don't hold formal hearings, and you definitely don't make any threats about their job. This isn't a guideline, folks. It's a hard and fast rule. Zero exceptions.
So, you might be asking, why? Why is this so rigid? Well, it's because these proceedings, they're not just difficult chats. Think of them as legal and technical minefields. They are incredibly complex and are governed by a ton of labor laws that, frankly, you're not expected to be an expert in. That's why this is reserved exclusively for the pros, our labor specialist attorneys and trained HR professionals. They know how to navigate this stuff safely.
So let's draw a really clear line in the sand. You can see it right here. Your role versus HR's role. Your lane is on the left. You see a problem with service delivery, you spot problematic behavior, and then your job is to refer that employee to HR. That's your part. Everything else, all the stuff on the right, like issuing warnings, conducting hearings, the whole 9 yards, that belongs strictly to HR and legal. If you cross that line, you're putting the whole company in jeopardy. And when I say jeopardy, what does that actually look like? Well, let's talk money. This number, 12, that represents 12 months' salary for just a standard unfair dismissal claim, which can happen from a simple mistake in the process. The company could be on the hook for a full year of that employee's pay. A full year. Think about that. That's a massive financial hit.
And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it does. Look at this number, 24. If a dismissal is found to be automatically unfair, and that can happen just by not following the proper procedure, the penalty doubles. We're talking up to 24 months of salary. 2 full years. The financial fallout from one manager stepping out of their lane can be absolutely devastating.
Okay. Enough of the scary stuff. We've talked about the danger, we get it. So, what's the solution? Well, the good news is your part in all this is actually super simple. It's a clear, safe process designed to protect everyone. Let's break down exactly what you should do.
Here it is. Your entire job in these situations boils down to just 3 easy steps. That's all you have to remember. Step 1, you observe. You see a service-level concern. Step 2, you inform. You let the employee know what you've noticed. And step 3, you refer. You send them to human resources. That's the whole playbook. Observe, inform, and refer. Simple, right?
And you know what? We're even going to give you the exact words to say. Think of this as your go-to script. You can say something just like this. I've noticed some challenges with your service delivery. I believe it would be beneficial to discuss this further with our Human Resources Department. Allow me to assist you in setting up a meeting with them. This phrasing is your safety net. It's calm, it's supportive, and it does the most important thing. It hands the ball over to the experts in HR.
Now, to really drive home why this is HR's job, we want to give you a peek behind the curtain. We have a resource called the Employee Offenses Library. But let me be absolutely clear about this. This is a tool for you to understand the complexity, not for you to use to take action. Big difference.
So what is this library? Well, it's basically a massive guide that gives you an overview of all the potential things that can go wrong in a workplace. It's there to show you just how big and complicated this world is, illustrating exactly why this stuff requires a specialist and why your only job is to make that referral to HR.
So if you ever look at this library, here are the rules of the road. First, it's for reference only. It's not a checklist. Second, it's not even a complete list of every possible issue. And most importantly, you always have to go to HR for clarification. Your job isn't to play detective and figure out which offense it is. No, your job is just to spot the service issue and pass it along.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this matters so much. Following this process, it's not just about dodging lawsuits. It's about building and protecting a fair and just workplace. It's about doing the right thing for everyone involved.
When you stick to your role, when you just observe, inform, and refer, you're actually becoming a guardian of fairness and neutrality. You're making sure that every single employee gets a proper legal process. You're protecting their rights, you're building trust, and you're upholding the integrity of the whole company. Honestly, your role in this is absolutely critical.
You know, this quote really sums it all up. It comes down to respecting professional boundaries. You're a manager, a leader, an expert in your field. You're not a labor lawyer. And trying to act like one, even with the best intentions, can violate employee rights and open up a world of legal trouble. This whole process is designed to stop that from ever happening.
So, I want to leave you with a question to carry with you. The next time you're facing one of these tough situations with an employee, just pause and ask yourself this: am I protecting my employee? Am I protecting my company? And am I protecting myself? Because if you stick to that simple formula, observe, inform, and refer, the answer every single time will be a confident yes.